organisation. Now, we'd like to say to our viewers and listeners that if you like what the UK column is doing, then please support us for £5 a month. You help keep this organisation going. We really want to expand to, the amount of material we cover and the number of people we can put in front of a camera. So we are there to get news and information out. We're there to support and protect people wherever they are in this country and indeed overseas where we can. And the truth and facts is the important weapon. So if you haven't joined us, £5 a month makes you part of the team. And we'd also like to say, please share our material. It goes out on Twitter accounts and BitChute and Telegram. But we are constantly aware that we are under covert censorship, if we call it that. And so for people to share our information, that's extremely important. You can also support us by purchasing from the UK column shop. And if you haven't had a look at the online shop, then please do visit. And we'd also like to encourage people to buy a copy of the Agenda 21 Your Life in Their Hands booklet. This has been an enormous success, but there are still copies available. If you haven't got one, please consider buying one. Now, tomorrow we've got the second part of the interview with Debbie Evans and Dr. Sabine Hazan. And that'll be going out at 1 o'clock. And Dr. Hazan will be talking about the gut and how important the gut is, and why gut feelings are important. So if you've seen part 1, I'm sure you want to see part 2. Let's just have a little look at a clip from part 2 to get a feel for what she's talking about.
And you can see the narrative, changing a little bit. When they started talking about the vaccine injured, now you start going, well, are they trying to use the vaccination to create chaos again, to make people panic, to blame, a political candidate? You could see the narrative. This is all this whole pandemic, all this about viruses and everything. Once you put healthcare in the limelight and it becomes about the price of a stock, then you've lost healthcare. That's it.
Okay, and in that clip, she's talking effectively about constraints that were put on her after she started to question COVID-19, which impacted on her own knowledge on gastroenterology. So do have a listen into that tomorrow. Now, our conference, UK Column on Location, Bristol, the 19th of October. Tickets are still available, but they're selling quickly. So if you haven't bought a ticket, please consider getting one. And a great range of speakers, and also the opportunity to meet and speak with the UK Column team themselves. We are really looking forward to it, and we hope you'll come and join us. Now, I'll just say that Mike Robinson and myself will be talking in small slots at the Heritage Party conference. That's Saturday the 28th. It's a ticketed event, and you can get details via the office at heritageparty.org. So have a look at that. And this is just one of the small parties that we are supporting. Now, back to the subject of Ukraine. And of course, one of the things that Ukraine is doing at the moment is sucking up huge sums of public money from the UK and other countries around the world. So this is gov.uk talking about the Defence Secretary welcoming the Ukrainian counterpart to UK and confirms £1 billion milestone in the UK-administered fund. But if we have a look in the text that goes with this article, we see that UK is now basically saying that there'll be £3 billion of UK aid for Ukraine per year for as long as it takes. This is the real agenda of Starmer's state. It's keeping that war going. But we get some idea of the sheer destruction by having a look at the World Bank financing. Now, this document is called Public Expenditures for Administrative Capacity Endurance, and that spells out peace. An irony here that basically loaning money at interest, so that Ukraine is ultimately going to be drowning in debt, never mind the dead bodies. This is the good works of the World Bank, apparently. But in this document, we quickly start to understand how disastrous the state is in Ukraine. And basically, it becomes apparent that without without support from the World Bank and others, the war wouldn't keep running. But the World Bank describes its help as humanitarian support. But we've already shown in this news edition that ultimately the West wants to keep the war going for experimental means to learn more about the battlefield. I've got another paragraph here talking about the overwhelming scale of the problem for the Ukrainian government, and it says that Ukraine's financing needs reached 35.1% of GDP in 2022. It's far worse now, equivalent to $53.3 billion US. And in this section here, it actually talks about what the money is being used for that the World Bank is providing: government employees' salaries, school employees' salaries, tertiary education salaries, pensions, social assistance payments, IDP payments, child and family benefits, first responders' salaries. So this is what public money from the West is being used for. But of course, nobody wants to stop the war, which is causing the problem in the first place. And if we go on to key risks, well, the only thing we need to say is that the World Bank realizes that the whole Ukrainian debacle is so risky that it defines each risk as either high or substantial.